audience.
Very broad. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and well-wishers of all ages, creeds, likenesses, and occasionally religion. Hi, how are you? Welcome to Chaos tonight, or Tuesday Night Chaos, as the banner might suggest. I am the one and only, the fearless, the immortal Yellkaos, here for your viewing pleasure. We got a great show for you tonight, a big show. We're going to talk about all kinds of things, so I hope you feel welcome, and I hope you get yourself a drink, and I hope you're sitting there nice and comfortable and steady, because we don't have a whole lot to talk about, but we're going to do it anyway because it just seemed like it needed to be done. So welcome to each and every one of you. Before we get too far along, I want to remind you to follow me and all my other exploits on the social media, at Twitter, at Facebook. If we had the fancy graphics, we'd put them right here, but we don't have them, so they're down below, down in the description box. Tonight, I am joined by two very illustrious guests. My main man, my right-hand guy, the guy that seems to, be the deadpan for anytime I need a deadpan. My man, Kid Shoryuken. Kid, say hello to the folks.
All right. It's great to be back on the Yellkaos program, having a wacky time.
And a drink to boot. And we got another guy here, a very good friend of mine, a guy that was brave enough to, let's face it, brave through the Classic Gaming Expo of 2014 at the Riviera in Las Vegas, Nevada. My good friend, all the way from the Game Vein podcast, got him borrowed from the Game Vein podcast, Mr. Sean Riley. Mr. Riley, how are you today?
What's up, everybody?
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And we'll have lots of other big fat intros just like that later on throughout the program. But
Just
before
call
we
me
get
fat.
And if I did?
It's your show.
See, that's exactly how things roll around here. But thank you and welcome to each and every one of you. I really appreciate it. We got people throwing each other in volcanoes in the comments section. It's a wild and violent time. It's like Combat Zone Wrestling there in the comments section. Everybody cool out, calm down, no fighting. There'll be no chasing each other around with lawnmower blades tonight. Before we get too far along, though, we have to launch into our very first piece of news, because we don't do this a lot here on Chaos Tonight, or Monday Night Chaos, or Tuesday Night Chaos, depending on when you usually join us. News from San Diego, California, where I am right now. We talked about this earlier before the program began. Apparently, as reported by CBS 8 here in San Diego, California, a local group of California Club Scouts were accidentally led through a nude beach on the beaches of San Diego, and somehow this made national news. First and foremost, I can say that why didn't I join the Cub Scouts? This is really the thing this bothers me. What really bothers me about the story is, number one, this made national news, and number two, apparently the club's the scout leader was fired, and I don't know how you fire volunteers, but I think that was kind of undue course of action. Kid Shoryuken, did you ever spend any time in any extracurricular activities like the Cub Scouts?
I went to like an orientation once, but then I never showed up to any meetings. I thought this was like a really awesome article, because Cub Scouts, that's a varying age range. Some they could have been like 12, 13. They walked onto that beach as Cub Scouts. They left as some Bear Scouts.
they were some fucking Kodiak Scouts. Regardless of what happens, you know that they definitely earned their woodworking badges this week.
Absolutely.
And good for them. Now, Mr. Riley, you said that you did a little research about the article in question, and what were your findings?
There's a suspicious link. Let me get it back open. I'm sorry, I closed it because.
All right, no, take your time.
There it is.
Apparently, there was some misleading internet articles that Mr. Riley.
Yes, it's very weird. I don't know if it's misleading or if it's just like. It looks like it's a link to another story on this website. It's the NBC San Diego website. Not even 2 lines into the story, there's a link to another story that's headline is "Man Convicted in Revenge Porn Case."
Now, this draws many questions. Number one, what is revenge porn, and how can I get involved in this?
Well, should I click the link?
No, I wouldn't recommend that because the NSA is probably watching.
I'm pretty sure revenge porn is when you and your significant other make some homemade porno together, and then after you break up, they share your private videos online for money or just for spite, something like that. I guess that's against the law.
So
Maybe.
basically,
I love how something, and revenge porn has such a pejorative connotation to it. It sounds like murder and rape at the same time.
at the same time.
It's such a, when the way you describe it's like, oh, well, a lot of people have that on their phone. I know that for certain. Lots and lots of people. But
That's sweet, sweet revenge.
Sweet
porn.
revenge. And I understand that now, of course, there's a negative connotation there, and it was, I don't know. It's what that has to do with some Cub Scouts accidentally seeing some saggy boobs. I really don't know. Mr. Riley, you've got some children of your own. They've seen saggy boobs, have they not?
Yeah, I walk around with my shirt off quite frequently.
Oh, well, see, and see that's I want to commend you for that, because that is responsible parenting. You are making these kids known, letting it be known the dangers of this sort of thing.
Look, I would be doing society a disservice if I didn't.
Well, I don't know about all
I
of that.
won't take my shirt off on this show. If I'm ever invited back, I promise not to wear a shirt.
Now that I'm thinking about it, when I really think about the average, frequenter of the nude beach, maybe those kids were done a disservice. I might have to retract my previous statement.
Because it's mostly like 40-year-old dudes trying to pick up a 19-year-old dude who looks like a 12-year-old dude.
Yeah.
Actually, I understand it's mostly like 60-year-old dudes who love their balls to be able to sway from side to side like a grandfather clock. That's what I understand it's all about. Because I remember one time I was doing some research about Newberry Springs, California, out in the San Bernardino desert.
Nude beaches is where I thought you were going. I was doing
research
on nude beaches.
I'm on my way.
Oh,
but
okay.
I stumbled across some information and found out that Newberry Springs is in fact through like Baker, California, and so on, is a volcanic field. And I said, what's a volcanic field? And I started researching about volcanic fields, only to find out that near these volcanic fields is something called a naturalist club. And I said, what on earth is a naturalist club? And naturally, being, I didn't mean to make a pun there. My natural curiosity was piqued, and I said, what's a naturalist club? And I clicked it, and I saw real, live, bona fide naked people. And I don't mean like the way you're thinking I'm seeing naked people, like not hot 19-year-old girls sticking ice cream cones in their butts and, wearing thigh-high boots. No. These were people in their, 30s, 40s, 50s with real skin problems, letting it all hang out. And now I will not go on fucking Wikipedia ever again.
Dudes walking around looking like the opening to Chrono Trigger and shit.
Getting their shuffleboard on.
No, dudes looking like they're celebrating Snail Day or something. It's awful, I mean, when I say naturalist, I mean naturalist.
Naturalist.
They have women with like one boob bigger than the other, substantially.
Just kicking them around.
That sort of thing. So anyway, with that
over their shoulders.
That's why they have those sports. That's why the sports bras are padded, because
It is.
Because it's less restrictive than knee pads. But anyway, welcome to our program. Before we get to the humorous portion of tonight's program, I want to welcome everybody and thank you for making it out, because there's lots of things you could be doing on a Tuesday night or on a Tuesday morning, as we found out, for all of those joining us in the land of the rising sun. Now, Kid Shore, you spent a good time living in the land of the rising sun, and
I did.
And you were talking about, just before the program began, you were talking about you found some food at the store that you found was interesting?
Yes, in the frozen foods I found microwavable yakiniku and I believe gyudon. I don't know. It's in the freezer. Delicious stuff, just meat and rice, and obviously it's not, as good. It's, crappy microwave prepared food, but it'll do for now. I can get a little bit of yakiniku and a little bit of Kirin Ichiban, and it's not quite the same thing, but it makes me happy. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I love it.
Just a little slice of home. Is that what it is?
That is what it is. Yes.
Now, something else I wanted to talk about, since I got you here, and I can break your balls a little bit, because you were busy writing your A paper about Ghost in the Shell yesterday.
Yes, I was.
And you don't know if you got an A, is that right?
No, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be. I can just tell. These things.
Okay, so you're going to post it on the Facebook when you do, in fact, get that A. Am I correct in my assumption?
Am I gonna post the paper on Facebook?
Well, at least post your A. You're the one boasting. The least you can do is, make good on your claim.
Okay, yeah, I can post the A, but I mean, long story short, I'm in a class, a rhetoric class right now, and I just did an assignment on a back and forth me and this guy had over the subject of race as it pertains to Ghost in the Shell, and which was a totally pointless, meaningless fucking conversation that I'm sorry I ever had. But I turned it around. I wrote an A paper on that shit.
I say I wouldn't call that pointless if you did, in fact, make an A. If you made like a C paper out of it, that's definitely something worth having, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, it's funny because at the time I'm like, God, why am I going in circles with this guy with all this rhetorical bullshit? Little did I know I would be taking a class on rhetorical bullshit.
Well, you've been in the United States Armed Forces for how long?
Oh, years, many years.
Rhetorical bullshit should be in your vocabulary.
I barely recognize it as rhetoric anymore.
That's a really, really sad thing. I'm terribly sorry. But there are worse things that could happen. Like
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Well, I was going to say something else, and then I was trying to segue, and my segue just.
I could have moved to a barren wasteland in the middle of nowhere. Oh, wait.
But now you're in a barren wasteland beside a river.
There's a nearby river. I haven't.
I can paint the silver lining on that. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. But anyway, apparently, Mr. Riley, you're getting a lot of love on your Metroid T-shirt. Where'd you get the Metroid T-shirt from?
I got it from Shirt Punch. It's actually let me try to show you guys without spilling my drink all over my laptop. It's actually a. Fuck, you guys are gonna make me stand up. What the hell?
You don't have to if you don't want to. They can.
No, because I want the people to see it. God damn it.
Okay, well let the people see it.
It's actually a Pacific Rim Metroid mashup.
I thought it was something like that.
Right there, that's Samus standing on the, and it says Pacific Hunt. At the bottom.
That's clever. That's
Nice.
clever.
Yeah, but I won't lift my shirt up any further. I promise.
See, and I appreciate that. Getting a guarantee on your very time out. You're doing a great job here on the program, Mr. Riley.
But if you guys want to throw money at me, I'll take my shirt off. I'm just saying.
Well, they'd be throwing it at computer monitors, so
I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you
Bitcoin?
offline.
You talk
Take
to
Bitcoin.
We're gonna have a chat later, Sean. You and me.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, they're gonna throw money at each other. This is
That's
going
fine,
to
that's
be
fine.
very interesting.
Throw me video games.
I'm a sucker for a ginger. That's what it is.
Oh.
Oh, is that? You know what? And I love that we appeal to so many different groups right here on the Yellkaos program. It's a fantastic thing. And this is also the place where we don't really care if you shave or not. And that's very
Shave? What is that? You know who does that? Women. Sorry, kid.
Well,
Hey,
you know.
What can I do?
Well,
At least I'm ugly.
Yeah, well, women and shaving, but you being an expert in women, Mr. Riley, from what I understand, isn't that correct?
Jesus Christ. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
I wasn't going anywhere. I'm not making any sort of supposition. I was just, making a plain blank statement.
Blanket statement.
Someone says you look kind of like Zangief, Sean.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not Russian though.
There you go. You're
But I will.
Ginger Zangief.
Ginger Zangief.
Zangief.
Hey, you know what? Somebody tell Tom in the chat to fuck off. I know Tom.
Oh, well, that's good. Fuck off, Tom.
Fuck off, Tom. Oh, I can do that, can I?
Yeah, you can.
I can do that.
You
There's
think
this
he
whole
can't hear you?
live thing. Yeah. God damn it. I forget these things happen, okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you forgot about, audio and
Audio and video. You can see my face. Fuck you, Tom.
So there you go, but Sean Geef.
Sean There you go. I'm okay with that, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. And Sprites and Bites has joined us.
Oh, Gareth, my main man.
Next time I'll come wearing red Speedos and wristbands or bracelets or
They always
gauntlets.
call them
whatever the fuck they're
Speedos,
called.
but they're Speedos singular, are they not?
You got to get all scarred up too. from wrestling bears.
Yeah, and I'll have to, I have to shave my chest hair. Never mind, I have to shave. I'm not doing it. Never mind.
Couldn't you just mold it into that shape?
Mega Gamer X wants 1000 wants to know if he can. Says he wants to keep his genital hair. Do what you want with your genital hair. I don't care.
I've been thinking about this, and yes, do whatever you want with your genital hair. But if you have lots and lots of it, I recommend you move to Japan. Isn't that right, Kid Shoryuken?
You're not wrong.
And not wear hot pants.
It's a spectrum.
An acquired taste.
Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
You could say that about a lot of things.
Taste. Yeah, I guess hair is an acquired taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
Depends on the situation, really. But anyway, folks, we will be taking, throughout the rest of the hour, we'll be taking your questions, your comments, your concerns from the comment section down below, which, like every week, seems to take on a life of its own. We thank you for joining us, this being the second Chaos program this week, and maybe we'll have more. We don't know, but I wanted to get on here and, just show my pretty face, all you people. And I'm going to show off my Pac-Man t-shirt that fucking everybody has. If you've seen any video of anybody who's got a Pac-Man t-shirt, everyone has this Pac-Man t-shirt, but I got this Pac-Man t-shirt.
My wife has that shirt.
Your wife has that shirt, the lady that stomps on the toes of Las Vegas Metro?
Mm-hmm, the same one.
The very same one. For those of you who don't know about Mrs. Riley was the lady that I told the story about not too long ago about taking no shit from Las Vegas during the Classic Gaming Expo of 2014. And
you told that story?
No, I didn't tell that story. I'm kidding.
I was going to say... You should have had me on for that.
I faked you out, didn't I? Ooh.
God damn it! I guess you know what? Maybe you should tell the story, Chaos.
Well, it's not much of a story. I've tried to get into the mode of telling the story of what went down at the Classic Gaming Expo, because I told Kid Shoryuken, and you can ask him. I almost broke down into tears because it was just utterly underwhelming. But I won't do that. I'm not going to bore him. We'd have to make like a whole show out of that and everything. And I hope that the Classic Gaming Expo...
Neo Geo cabs.
The molasses, yes, there was that. We'll have to get on here and recap that whole program.
For that cabinet right now. No, we probably shouldn't.
Because really, if we start talking about this, it's going to absorb the whole goddamn hour. And these people have other things to do. So, but like I said, we want to make sure that you get your questions answered. If you have any, I know that a lot of people asked a lot of questions last night, so you might need some time to recharge. If that's the case, then I'll just make you look at Kid Shoryuken for a while, and you can argue as to whether or not he vaguely resembles David Graff. And if you don't know who David Graff is, then Google is your friend.
It's not the first time I've heard that. Actually, fucking, he's here now, and I was convinced he was talking to you and Ed. Fucking Sprites and Bites on here came on and said I look like Tackleberry, and the third person in the span of a fucking month to say that, and it can't be a coincidence. I'm convinced you guys are in cahoots.
I said that to no one else but my wife, and then she fell down on the floor laughing.
Tackleberry.
Yeah, that's me. Well, I do stand around punching myself in the guts every once in a while.
It's true.
It's fun.
You say so, buddy.
That's good. That's good. The Cutie Bear, who usually doesn't make it out for our show, wants me to explain why wrestlers wear leather panties.
Because
who wears leather panties? If you're talking about the tights, those are tights.
That's the required uniform.
there you go. Wrestlers get hot. What? Well, those are more of like Lycra, aren't they? I wouldn't call those.
I don't know.
That's CM Punk.
It is CM Punk.
Oh, does his action figure suck as much as he does?
I don't know.
Push it and just bitches.
I don't know. We really haven't put it through its paces yet, have we?
But I will just say this. Look at this. Look at this action. This is all the fucking thing does. It just does this.
Push the wrong button and he quits.
Again.
Does he have staph infection too, like the real one?
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna check though.
Is he gonna have a fight with a Power Ranger too?
Oh,
no, you know
please.
what? I want to see that. I would
Well,
love
no. You just got to go to a
Yeah.
But it
garage
would have
sale.
to be. It can't be the Green Ranger. It has to be the Red Ranger. You know, the one that was arrested the other
Oh,
day
the
for
murderer.
allegedly killing his
Yeah.
fucking roommate with a sword.
How do you like that?
That
UFC
one.
just got interesting.
The
Bravo.
fucking the murder ranger.
Yes.
That would be cool. Triple threat match. Murdering Power Ranger guy, then Tommy and CM Punk. There you go. Best fight ever.
Phil Brooks. Phil Brooks. I don't think he'll be using CM Punk by the time he's fighting.
Nobody. I mean.
Trademarks and such.
Oh yeah, that's no, because he was using that forever, right? Isn't that his?
No,
Yeah,
Vince has a habit of taking away your gimmick when you go to
But
work.
Triple H. Yeah.
That sucks. I don't. Nobody wants to see Phil Brooks. They want to see CM Punk fight the Green Ranger. That has to be the marquee.
That would
Otherwise,
be.
nobody cares.
That's fight of the year potential.
Oh jeez.
Calling it. I don't care what Joe Rogan says.
They're just, it's like in my head, like I know it probably won't be as cool, like it'll probably be over in like 10 seconds, Tommy will just fucking kill him. But in my head, they're just like he comes out and if he's
I love
not
how
at
you
least-
still call him by his Power Ranger name.
I always will. I don't have time. He's got like 3. His name is one of the.
That
he's
is
one of
his slave name. You will not talk to him that way.
No, because he's one of these celebrities.
I
that has,
don't
like,
trust the guy. I don't trust.
name.
Yeah, he's got 3 first names. I don't trust people with more than 1 first name.
Yeah, get that shit out of here. He's Tommy. He's the Green Ranger. If he doesn't come out at least in full Ranger gear, I want him to at least have the vest and maybe the dagger.
At least.
No, he can't because the Red Ranger has the dagger.
What if he came out with an entourage? Like, he's not wearing anything. He's just wearing his normal fight gear, but he comes with an entourage of dudes dressed as all the Rangers he's ever been.
Mm-mm.
Like, that would be...
Yeah, they get some of the
This is
jackoffs
what-
to go to the ring with Adam Rose.
He should do. He should that tiger that Katy Perry used at the Super Bowl and come out as the White Ranger.
Yeah. Well, no, because if he came out with an entourage, I mean, that looks like a show of force, because he's been enough Rangers to equal a full team of Rangers, so that would be pretty sweet, I think. Just a whole bunch of them show up with him, and it's like the legacy, and then he beats up Phil, whatever.
Fair enough. We got a question here, actually. If you guys don't want to gush about the Rangers anymore.
Okay, I'd love to.
We got a question. If you could have any game from any platform that never went to the U.S. wishing that it had, what game would you want? That's a very good question.
I already have those games, actually.
As a matter of fact, you do, you son of a bitch. And I don't know, Mr. Riley, do you have a similar request?
No. Kid,
the
you
one
can
I-
just
the
send
one
me
I
the games
want-
you don't play.
The one I
Okay,
the one I want is one that actually, Kid Sure you can promise to send me one of these times, which is Mario and Wario on the Super Famicom.
Yeah, that's right. I will
Because,
send it.
I do have. I think I have one.
I will.
I'd like to play Sweet Home.
You know what? I have 2 copies of that. You can get one off me.
Well, as long as no one finds out where you live and they come take it from you.
And that's true.
I'm gonna stop giving away details and shit.
Addressed it to the asshole of California.
Yeah. Who asked
Right,
that
that's
question?
right. Everyone, Sean Riley coming to us live from the asshole of Southern California. And
I am not the
appreciate it.
asshole of Southern California.
No one said that.
That's
Don't
right.
get bent out of shape with me, young man.
I'm sorry, it's the Southern Comfort talking.
Is that the Southern Comfort talking? That's good. And Kid Sure you can repping good old-fashioned Budweiser. Am I correct?
Yeah, it was. It's pretty cheap at the Dollar General. Yeah.
They got over the Dollar General. Well, good for
Wow.
you. We don't have Dollar General here in this part of the country.
Oh, you will soon. We have it here.
Do you have them over there in the asshole?
The asshole has them.
Oh, really? Yeah. We have Family Dollar, which I've been to a Family Dollar, and that's not a fucking dollar store, and that's bullshit. And they need to take that fucking name off of the top there.
Neither is the 99-cent store, but I won't go into that anymore.
I used to find actually a lot of jazz fusion CDs at the 99-cent store.
You know what?
And
best
metal
CD
tapes.
Best CD I ever found at the 99-cent store was several copies of Guns N' Roses' The Spaghetti Incident.
Yeah, you can also find those in your public libraries too for that very same reason.
That's
I
the
like how
only
you.
CD left in the public library.
I like how you tried to recover from that. You're like, I used to find lots of jazz fusion CDs and metal too.
And metal too.
No. Metal tapes. No metal CDs. Metal tapes. I have it somewhere. I have a Coroner metal tape that I got at the 99-cent store. The fucking thing doesn't work, but
You bought it at the fucking 99-cent store.
but it was a tape. Tapes have no other fucking function on this planet except to work. If they don't, then they're just called a paperweight. God damn it!
Using it as a paperweight?
Actually, it's sitting on the shelf next to tapes that do work.
Is there paper under it though?
No,
paper under
it's actually holding up a shelf.
That's fine then.
You know what's funny is it's doing far better at holding up a shelf than it ever did at playing music.
At playing music?
Yeah. So Biogenesis wants to know what's my favorite 2D Mario game. Super Mario World.
Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island.
It's a good one. That's a tough question.
That is a
hard.
tough question. That is a tough question, even though that people like to cast aspersions on those sorts of games. But fuck those people.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question. Sprites and Bytes. Hey guys, what's the worst game Nintendo ever made in your own opinion?
Oh, I assume he means Nintendo published, because that's a much wider
Earthbound.
spectrum.
Earthbound.
Earthbound, to say straight up. Kid Shoryuken, what's the worst one?
Jeez, the worst Nintendo game. That's hard because I typically like Nintendo published stuff.
There's gotta be one you think is really bad.
I didn't really like. There's one. Oh, gee, it's on the SNES. It's almost like playing golf or something with Kirby, where it's like Kirby rolls around on like a board and you just got to get him into a hole. So you smack him around. It's like playing a game of mini golf with Kirby. And
What is that? Tom will know. Tom will know what that game is.
I forget what it is. It's on the SNES though, and the whole goal is just get Kirby in a hole. And
I know which one it is, I just can't remember what it's called.
you took Kirby, something that's typically really, really fun, and you turned it into kind of like a boring, tedious, chore. That's probably it then. I don't really.
Which
like
is usually the space reserved for Chibi Robo.
Yeah.
I say the worst one I could say, and I have to say this with a certain amount of pause, is Metroid Other M. While Metroid Other M is by no means a bad game, it is definitely a misguided game. It does a lot of things great. It's actually quite a bit of fun until you get towards the end and you're waiting for the big payoff, and the payoff says, "Fuck you, this is now a Lifetime movie." and you get to sit there and deal with that, and I didn't care much for that, because the whole thing kind of, comes off. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but the ending makes it feel like you're watching one of those movies, like I'm dying of a woman's disease type sort of thing, and it drove me fucking nuts. Like I sat here through this whole goddamn game for this. Yeah,
every Metroid game should just end with a giant explosion. Period.
Or Samus in her underwear.
Or both.
Yes, and Samus in her underwear exploding.
Yeah. That's
wait, wait. Samus, the outfit exploding, exposing her in her underwear.
Wait, no, hold on.
You know what? Get on it, Miyamoto.
Like how when Iron Man's suit just falls apart, the same thing.
Space station explodes, suit explodes, underwear, then exploding again.
Yes.
Bravo.
You're on out.
Bravo to you. Kirby's Pinball Dreamland, is that what it's called?
That might be it.
That might be it.
That
I don't
was
recall.
on Game Boy.
Oh no.
That was on.
That was on the Game Boy. I
like that one actually. I have that one.
That's a really good one.
The one on SNES, it's not pinball. There's no pinball to be done. It's basically It's almost like a game of pool, like you're playing billiards, but it's Kirby.
Yeah. But it's kind of like putting.
Kirby's Dream Course.
Yeah.
Kirby, okay.
Kirby's Pinball Land is right there.
Yeah, I don't really care for that game. I mean, it looks good enough and it sounds good enough. Obviously, being a Kirby versus Nintendo, blah 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 blah. So like all the aesthetics are pleasing. It's just not a very fun game. That's probably my least favorite. Like just off the top of my head, that's a Nintendo game I don't like.
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at something I read.
What were you reading?
Nobody laughs at me.
It is Kirby's Dream Course. I beg
Yeah,
your pardon.
I
Kirby's Dream
Googled
Course.
it, and then I found one of the first links was a link to a ROM site, so I clicked it to see screenshots, but I got a ad, or not an ad, but the page said that page had been removed due to a claim from Nintendo of America.
Yeah, they're gonna share the wealth, folks. That's
Yeah.
part of the new plan from Nintendo of America. Jesus.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Guess don't make any videos about Nintendo stuff.
Right?
Yeah, thanks, NOA. Good luck with that Seattle Mariners thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. The Cutie Bear wants to know that since I am a minister, can I please make Samus her wife? No, that's called abduction. And no matter what kind of piece of paper I show you as to my qualifications, I cannot legally abduct somebody, nor can I legally abduct a cartoon character.
It is up to Cutie Bear to make Samus her wife.
We'll use a bit of trickery. Well, you can do that. Some guy in Japan married his fucking pillows. I'm sure you can marry Samus somehow.
Well, that's what I love about the way things are in Japan. They're just like, fine, do it, whatever.
Fine.
Panties in a vending machine, fine.
You want to marry your couch, whatever.
Whatever. You'll be happy.
You would. You would be pretty happy married to a couch, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You could paint.
No, you have the same problem that a lot of husbands have. Just lays around all day, doesn't do anything, is barely comforting when I come home, etc., etc., etc.
Doesn't nag though. I mean, you lose
Doesn't
a lot of
clean either though.
Yeah, but you lose a lot of those things. I mean, it's always there for you. You can just jump on it anytime you want to.
Yeah, but like most wives, it covers up more mess than it really should.
You can sweep the mess under your wife, and she.
Boy, I sound like a happily married individual, don't I?
Wow.
You too.
Nobody Noel, who follows me on the Twitter, who always has things to say on the Twitter to me, says, "Do you hate Dragon Force?" Yes.
Explain.
Because
hate's a strong word.
I shouldn't say. Well, for me, they've never been a band that has lived up to their hype, much like a lot of bands. But yet, for some reason, thanks to Guitar World magazine and a number of other outlets, the hype remains, even though like they're given all this credit for being musicians, but they can't write songs to save their lives. So I don't understand where their popularity comes from. And they're a second-rate power metal band at best. If you want a real power metal band, look at Dragonland.
Dragonland is
or Dragon Hammer for that matter.
You can't begrudge a band just for finding a little bit of success though.
Oh no, I'm not begrudging them for that at all. What I am begrudging them at is that they're constantly crammed down your throat as showing as musicianship when there are far exceedingly better instances of musicianship well within that same genre.
Well, I've seen them live once, and it was okay. It wasn't. I had seen videos on YouTube of them.
Did they have trampolines?
No.
Okay, because the one time they came to my club, they had trampolines, and they play better when they weren't on the trampolines.
There were no trampolines. This was probably about 5 years ago, maybe a little over 5 years ago in Germany somewhere. I think in Saarbrücken, Germany. I saw them and Sonata Arctica together, and it was pretty good. It was not
that
bad.
sounds like a terribly feminine show, but I hope you had a nice time.
I had a great time. I mean, I don't really remember most of it, but I'm pretty sure I had a good time.
Okay, because Sonata Arctica has really become like the heavy metal Ken doll set.
Wow.
And just the never-ending stream of Yannis.
Yanni's mustache live. It's always seemed like the mustache was the star
headliner
of the show. Mega Gamer X1000 wants to know what my thoughts are on Club Nintendo right now. It's still broken, so I have I have no thoughts on it right now.
Never mind.
I really think that people are bum rushing the servers because they're trying to get a hold of all of the rare last Club Nintendo prizes, and they're going to stick them on eBay and sit on them because they want $1,000 for miniature Animal Crossing playing cards.
Oh, God damn it, I need those now.
You need those now.
Yeah.
If I could say anything to my audience and all of the people that are watching right now, if you would take in the same strategy that I have, I don't negotiate with terrorists. You know.
Yep.
I can wait just as similarly to the way that like Super Nintendo games are massively overpriced right now. I look that in the face and I say I can wait just as long as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because realistically, if you don't think you're going to want to play it in a couple of years, then what difference does it make? You know, it's not worth you forking over your hard-earned dollars for let's face it, a 20 to 30-year-old computer program.
It looks good though.
That's true. I agree.
No argument. I have to say that the Super Nintendo games have aged incredibly well, especially compared to like the Sega Saturn, for instance.
Nobody knows what that is.
Yeah.
Well, they do in this circle. In this circle, they know all about the Sega Saturn.
Well,
I know.
Sean, you're new to the program. You're new to the program, so you don't know the hardcore, the hardcore that are really in this room.
Yeah, but just look at sales figures. Nobody knows what the Saturn is.
Unfortunately.
You'd be amazed. What the internet
I
does.
know what the Saturn is. I know there are people that do, but nobody cared at the time.
Yeah. We gather. We know you're old. we understand. We understand. It's okay. It's all right.
I'm not old.
I want to address someone here real quick.
What do you want to address, kid?
This cutie bear. She asks if she comes over if I could please make her some onigiri and takoyaki. No. You're gonna have to talk to my old lady about that one. I can't cook for shit.
Oh, okay. So exactly. You weren't asking permission if a young lady could come to your house, were you?
No, of course not.
All right, because that's true Japanese sensibility. Bitch, I'll bring over who I want to bring over.
I'm dry. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, that's good.
That's what she said.
Oh, you
Sorry.
see what you did there?
Sorry.
See, you're being all lowbrow, taking
it back to 2010.
Tyler Bora, who's been a long-time follower of the Yellkaos program, wants to know, when the current Nintendo reward system goes down, he means Club Nintendo, what do I hope they bring into the new system that would make it better? I really don't know. I thought they had a pretty good thing going there. I'm not going to sit here and say that there was anything really genuinely wrong with the Club Nintendo program. I've never spent money with a company and then have them phone me up a couple of days later and says, hey, would you like us to give you a toy of some kind? That's never happened to me. Ever.
I think that what they did in the last year or so, where it was less physical stuff and more digital stuff, was kind of bullshit. Had more physical things. Like, I mean, I know we were just talking shit on the Animal Crossing playing cards or whatever, but I have several Club Nintendo things that from years back that they're on my shelf and I can look at them. They're not like, oh, you want to know what I got from Club Nintendo this month? Oh, let me go get my DS or let me turn on my Wii U so you can see what I got. So I think that, and I know that was what a lot of people had complained about too.
Well, no, I gather that, and there's also the complaint that Club Nintendo Japan always got the really cool stuff, but the fact remains, shipping rates are not getting any smaller, and let's face it, Nintendo is not in the best financial position. I know I said we weren't going to talk about that, but this is something you have to take into account. When some company is just giving shit away for people buying shit, there comes a point where, I'm not trying to excuse it, but you can't really be surprised. You
understand.
Yeah, when business is bad, it's you gotta kind of sometimes tighten your belt, and so I'm not about to call it bullshit. I mean, I'm thankful that I got what I did, but and at the same time, it kind of works out for me. And this might sound like I'm shilling or whatever, but it kind of works out for me in that you guys can't see what's on this side of the room and in the next room over. There's an entire room in my house dedicated to all of this shit, and I don't have room for any more of this shit. So I'm kind of thankful that I'm getting free digital games. I don't have to turn out money to get some of these games that I'm actually interested in. Is it as cool as, well, this isn't a Club Nintendo item, but, something like this? No, not so much. but that's not really the point. And and of course, you always like to get your little thank you card and what have you. But
those are cool.
they are cool. They're actually, and I actually have 3 of them. And in fact, if you can't see it in the bulletin board behind me, but there's a Luigi back there.
I see it.
Do you see it?
I only see it because I know what it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have one over there, Mr. Riley?
I have one somewhere. It's on the shelf up there with like 3 calendars from like 2010, 11, and 12 or something.
Yeah, I always enjoyed getting the calendar myself. People say, "Oh, the calendar's weak." Like, the calendar's actually really cool, even though
Put that shit on your desk at work.
It's actually just, well, exactly. You might make some friends, you faggot.
Yeah.
Also, what's great about it is it's actually it's kind of like an everlasting pop-up on your screen and advertising play Nintendo.
Yep.
If it's a game you don't have anyway, but it's cool for what it is, and I always enjoyed it, and I think I am going to get that 2016 desktop calendar for because that's one of the prizes that they're handing out. Now, Kid Short Yukon's probably bored stiff of this conversation. Is that true?
You could say that.
What are you eating?
Doritos.
Chips. Sun chips? You having sun chips?
No, these are
Hey, no.
Hey, whoa! That's not a sponsor of this program.
No sponsor. There will be no Ruffles sponsor. No,
you can't just do that.
Ruffles deep ridge bacon and cheddar loaded potato skins, and they're
whoa! So not only potato chips, but you got all the nitrates of a So this program brought to you by Ruffles, Budweiser, and Seagram 7. Thought I'd make that very clear.
And hold on. And WWE All-Stars with Roddy Piper.
And brought to you by Roddy Piper.
And 7-Eleven.
And 7-Eleven. Well, no 7-Eleven because they don't have video games anymore. Fuck those people.
Hold on, how about that? It'll just be a gulp.
So you got your finger on Roddy's wiener.
Everybody's got their finger on Roddy's wiener.
No kidding, right? There's thumb on the pulse of society and so on.
Just talk to Gold Dust.
Sigma Sean wants to know, what are some games you think are still only talked about due to nostalgia? Fuck, there's a ton of games that are really only discussed because of nostalgia.
Earthbound?
Would you care to expand on that at all, Mr. Riley?
I hate Earthbound.
Thank you for being so thorough. I really appreciate that. Earthbound, I hate Earthbound.
Super Mario Brothers 2? I hate that game.
I disagree. I defend that game vehemently.
Super Mario 2 USA, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
I disagree with that. That game is a classic in its own right.
No, The Adventure of Link. Because it's a Zelda game.
You know what?
Do you think it's an otherwise mediocre 2D game that has the Zelda name and that suddenly makes it better?
Yes. I didn't like the game personally. I didn't like the whole at the time I didn't like the RPG system battle system that they put in where you'd just be walking and shit would pop up. And I enjoy RPGs now, but I still don't like that game.
Well, then
I think people like it because it's a Zelda game or whatever.
I think Sean's kind of right about everything. Is that if you watch a lot of gaming channels on YouTube and a lot of reviewers, you'll notice that the same games kind of like make the rounds of reviews, and they're the ones that are very commonly touched upon. So I think a whole shit ton of games get passed around just out of nostalgic reasons. Even if 20 to 30 dudes have already reviewed this game or done a retrospective of it or something to that effect, there's still going to be like the next guy in line to
Final Fantasy VII is the same way.
A review, a retrospective, or there's going to be like another top 10 list with the exact same 10 games in it. So really, it's just there's a long list really when you're talking about games that people harp on really for just nostalgic reasons or just because it's one of those games that people feel like, oh, I got to talk about this. This is one of those games that everybody knows. So it ends up if you can flip click between like 30 different fucking channels and find something about one of those 100 or so games on all of those channels. So yeah, just a shit ton. The Zeldas, the Castlevanias. I can't count on both hands and both feet how many channels there are out there with some kind of review or discussion on.
Well, you can't count on both hands and both feet how many channels there are devoted specifically just to that fucking game.
There you go. Castlevania 2 everywhere, Mario World everywhere, Zelda, Link to the Past especially is fucking like a lot of games are just fucking everywhere. Anyone ever does a list or a retrospective or a review, there's like kind of a list of games that you can almost automatically assume is going to be included in there at some point.
I also mentioned Final Fantasy VII, and I love that game. That's one of my favorite games. I just love that game.
But you recognize that it was mostly its marketing that sold that game?
Right, yeah. But I just went on YouTube and I searched Final Fantasy VII review. There are 309,000 results.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and there are some where if you go and, there are some more obscure games, that I've reviewed, that if you go and search those, you'll find one review of those games. Just saying.
It's interesting that this came up because this reminds me of something that I've been meaning to talk about on this program for quite some time, is that the games that seem to carry a reputation for no apparent reason, chief among them being E.T. comes up a lot. E.T. on the Atari 2600. Well,
it's a bad game. I played it as a kid. It's a bad game.
Well, how many people have actually played it though? Like, I'm 28 years old. The vast majority of the people I interact with on YouTube are my age or younger. Sometimes older, but not by like a huge margin. And I just wonder how many people among us have actually played E.T. Probably
at length.
At length. Probably almost nobody, but we're just aware because just by word of mouth. Oh,
yeah, they turn it on, they hate it. Oh, I must be cool like the rest of the internet.
Yeah. Which I've played shit that I gotta say I can't imagine E.T. being any worse than some of the shit I've played.
Well, I'll tell you this, E.T. it works. Which is a lot more than I can say about a lot of your fucking games coming out on your PlayStation 4 and your Xbox One. The fucking thing works.
You make a very good point.
Oh my god.
So there's that. But it raises that interesting point to where it feels like certain games are talked about in a certain way, especially here because of the strong showing that our scene has on YouTube and what have you. Because this is where a lot of people, if you're in the online gaming scene, chances are you're here on YouTube or otherwise. So you are Google's bitch, and I'm terribly sorry to be the one to bring that to your attention.
Thanks.
Well, you're welcome. But I find that it seems like there is a bit of an elitist attitude, and the beginning of the elitist attitude comes with hating things for one reason or another. And it often reminds me of black metal fans who hate on death metal when a large amount of black metal and death metal is so overlapping that if you didn't have the fucking logo in front of you and if there wasn't an inverted crucifix on the album cover, you would not be able to differentiate between the two. So it seems like it's people looking for street cred, not based on the games. Funny enough, people looking for street cred based on the games they like. Like, I'm sorry, you going around telling people that you play video games is not going to make you appear tough. I don't care how hard you try and drive that point home.
Unless you look like this.
Yeah, there is that.
If you look like those kids from the Rival Turf cover, maybe.
Or Crashing the Boys.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't look like Sean Geef, then you don't have that at your disposal. But then trying to gain street cred by hating the same games as everybody, I don't get that, and it really drives the point home. I think that people think that what goes on here is real. And that it matters. I'm sorry. Let's see. I think I just yanked the steam out of the whole YouTube scene just in one foul swoop of a sentence. But it was a long time coming. Anyway, Thomas Avantis says that he has terrible taste in games. I know. Sean told me.
He does. He does. He likes all those fucking Japanese dating sims.
Oh. Yeah.
My question is now you guys are probably experts in the field. Is there a rash of these things?
There's more than there needs to be, that's for sure.
That Sean is very right about that. I was collecting very heavily for the Dreamcast while I was still in Japan. I just wanted to get as many titles as I could, and I ended up picking up more dating sim games than I really care to mention. Just because after they stopped producing Dreamcast, I guess they just didn't give a shit what ended up on the system. Just a whole fucking slew of dating sim games ended up on it. I recently reviewed the one that entertained me the most, and it was still a giant pile of shit. Um, I don't know what the deal is. I guess that appeals to a certain market, and I'm not a part of that market. But you can't really refer to them so much as games. Actually, Mr. Chaos, I was describing as I was writing my review for this game. I described it to you. I said it was like taking an RPG and then removing all the fun elements and just leaving you with the boring shit. And you said,
So it
"Oh,"
leaves you with PG.
so you were like, "Oh, it's like Final Fantasy VII."
Oh.
That was your
Oh.
Oh.
that was you. I'm
I
quoting
just
you.
I just
Yeah,
took an
it's
arrow to the knee. God damn it.
yeah. Dating sim games, I don't care for at all. Um, and I actually know some people on YouTube that do, and I don't hold nothing against them, but I don't understand their taste. So.
I think it's they're genuinely practicing. It could be like all the kids that wanted to be a jet fighter because they played Afterburner in the arcades. Like that's what being a jet
No.
pilot is like.
Or Ace Combat.
Or, or Ace Combat. And I think that's what it is. I think those people are genuinely practicing, and I think they keep buying new ones because they didn't make any progress. I think they went out and tried it in real life and got a whole bunch of.
You have you have to update fashion and stuff, right? No?
In what regard?
Nothing. New dating sims. You got to update everything.
Oh no, but you see, there are enthusiasts who buy the new ones whenever they come out, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought there was like 3, 5 of them, and then I started hanging out with Kid Shoryuken more often, and I find out there's a ton of them.
There's so many that he has an adult section in his collection.
I do. Um, yeah, it's that was kind of a disappointing thing actually. When I was like, you know what? While I'm here, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to buy as many Japanese exclusives as possible, and I would just go through and just rent because they were all like $1 a piece. So I just fucking grab any and everything off the shelf, and then I'd walk out like, a stack of like EA High, and it was like $50. And then I get them all home, and half of them were just fucking shit, just dating sims and garbage.
Literal
And
shelf fillers.
yeah, just immediately regret your purchase.
But you can't argue that they're at least cool looking if you don't know what they say.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's always that. They always have very like attractive packaging. It's always like really colorful, and you're like, oh, I wonder what the fuck this is. But then you get it home, and it's like you've been duped.
Just like how AAA wrestling is really cool if you don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. Yeah, plenty of that in Del Rio. I'm actually, I love watching AAA. I mean, I catch it on whatever the fuck sports channel I got here. Like,
Oh yeah, as do I. And they the girls aren't as hot, but they can at least kind of work. But what are you gonna do? Rockin' Metal Ultima wants to know what games we're currently playing. I think he's posing that to all of us. Me on my I'm actually doing Super Smash Brothers on both my 3DS and my Wii U. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. And when I'm not doing that, I'm working on NES Ultimate NES Remix, and I was working on Style Savvy Trendsetters, and that's that. Mr. Riley, what games you working on as of right now?
Currently playing Chrono Trigger on the PS1. I haven't played that since the Super Nintendo days, and I don't own a Super Nintendo right now, so I can't play it on there. Plus, that game is fucking expensive on the Super Nintendo.
Oh yes.
And when I'm not playing that, I'm playing Marvel vs. Capcom on the Dreamcast.
Nice.
And that's it.
Well, very well rounded, kid. You're always playing games now. Are you
Yes.
playing any games involving buses?
No, I've had my fill of bus-related games.
I want to play that game. I really do. Plug that review for me, would you?
I recently did a review of a game called Tokyo Bus Guide for the Sega Dreamcast, where you drive a
Jesus
bus
Christ.
and That's it, really.
Is
Not very fun.
it Egg Shen's tour bus?
No, it's not even.
God damn it! I don't want to play it then.
It's nothing as cool as that. It's just your regular run-of-the-mill bus. I couldn't even write a script for it because I was so bored. I was like, how do I script this? I don't know. I can do it. What I'm playing now, though, pretty much right now, the only games I play are the games I'm reviewing. So these are the next 5 games I'm going to be reviewing. Final Fight Revenge, very interesting 3D fighter for the Sega Saturn. Radiant Silvergun, really fun shooter by Treasure. I'm going to be reviewing Samurai Deeper Kyo, based on a manga and anime, really late release on the PlayStation, kind of a cash-in title. Yokai Dochuki, which is a really fun action platformer on the PC Engine. And then I'm going to be doing a review of Melty Blood Actress Again, which really awesome series of 2D fighters that were Japan exclusives. And I actually really like these a lot. So that's what I'm playing at the moment, just capturing footage and trying to make it look good. So
you're the one getting all the real street cred over there on YouTube. So, if you're in the mood for some fantastic import reviews, go and check out Kid Shoryuken. There'll be a link down in the description box and check him out. Anyway, folks, that's the end of our program. That's the hour. I thank everybody for coming and checking out the show. I want to remind each and every one of you to follow all of us on the Twitter, on the Facebook, and all that stuff. You'll find all that information down below. I am Yellkaos. Joining me today was my very good friend Kid Shoryuken.
Oh yeah, we had a fun, great time tonight. Yeah.
Fantastic. And my very good friend, Mr. Sean Riley. Sean?
This is what you follow on. I'm not even going to try to tell you because everybody's going to fucking spell it wrong.
So PlayStation
right,
on Twitter.
God
and everyone go ahead and check out my good friend, Mr. Riley. So thank you very much. You guys have been great. This has been the Yellkaos program, and I want to remind you that I think you guys are fantastic, and I hope I can count on your vote in 2020. We'll see you next time. This has been Chaos Tonight. Bye-bye.